You all right? We gonna rock it out.
Okay.
So I'm thankful you here. Sorry about the delay again. Like I said, I'm learning the things. Uh,
You good.
so yeah, special guest, tell the people who you are, what you do, where you from, all the good stuff.
I am Rell Lowery. I play the character Pernell in Eden's Garden, The Jungle Has No Face. Born and raised Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City. For those that know. Um, 42. I'll be 43 in July. Team Cancer all day. Um, Family man, advocate, actor, hard worker, um, spiritual person. Big fan of people that believe and people that are positive. Stay away from negative energy. Introvert. Work for Atrium. Um, Also have a trucking business with my dad. So a couple of different things. And also the trans liaison for Charlotte Black Pride.
That is wonderful. Um, what do you want to do, honey?
Do you want
Here, use it. I am sorry, I'm multitasking, but I'm so excited to bring y'all Eden's Garden Part 2. So we are now discussing all things leading up to the Visible Voices um, Festival in New York. And so I'm so excited to be there. Tell me a little bit about how your journey began. Let's take it personally first. So give me a little bit about your personal journey.
Um, Pretty much I always knew inside that this was who I was going to become. I
Right.
knew it since I was probably maybe 3 or 4. I knew something was different. Um, but pretty much like I'm close to my family. My family was heavy in the church, so it wasn't really something that I knew about what being trans was or living in your truth was. So I pretty much, but I dated girls since I was 15, but I knew I liked them since I was younger than that.
Okay.
That was clear. I had no confusion on that. But started dating them at like 14, 15. Had my first girlfriend at 15, and then after that, I just knew like there was nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I knew that that's what I wanted to do. But I started my transition late. I started my transition at 32, and that
Okay.
was because I didn't want to. I knew me being in the community and liking women had already kind of ruffled the feathers in my family because that wasn't something that anybody had done before. So I didn't want to do too much. But at 32, I just came to the realization like you only live this life once, and
That
I've
is
tiptoed
true.
around my family enough. So I was like, it's time for me to live, and I never look back.
I'm glad that you say that because oftentimes um, in people's stories of their personal development, um, family could be the most biggest discouraging part of that. Some people can turn away from their transition just simply by the lack of support from family.
Hmm. Yeah, I was actually thankful. Me actually coming out as trans and living in my truth was easier than me telling my family that I liked women because
Okay.
they're so overprotective, especially back then. I don't want to say it like I'm that old, but back then in the 2000s, early 2000s, it wasn't a whole lot of studs, films, things like that. People just did them and kind of stayed under the radar. Now it's everywhere. So I when I did decide to transition and let my family know, they were actually all supportive. So I'm grateful for that. My mother, she was one of my biggest supporters, still is, and her biggest thing, like she told me verbatim, I want you to be you. You're always gonna be my child, but I just want to make sure you do it the legal way. Make sure that you're going to get your medicines from a doctor, getting checked up on, um, because you're supposed to bury me. I'm not supposed to bury you. So
Yeah.
make sure that you're doing it the right way and just being careful. For my mom, my dad, my sister, my friends, my grandmother, even at 87 before she passed away, she finally, called me her grandson. So after
Um,
that happened, I pretty much, I'm not living for anybody else. If she can accept me at 87, then I have no kind of toleration for anybody that can't.
Hey, that's how I feel with when my mom before my mom passed. It was like one of those things of coming into my transition. I was afraid of that rejection, and I remember it was her birthday, and I like did this whole boat situation to be able to be us to spend some time together. And when I came down the stairs as my full self, and she was like, "Oh, you like the daughter I always wanted." That just made my whole heart melt. So I understand and I
Yeah,
resonate with that completely. So
absolutely.
tell me a little bit about how you came into getting into the whole Eden's Garden family.
Um, actually, I came about a little bit late. I watched the series on YouTube when it was out in the beginning, but 2022 is actually when I heard about it being redone or revamped. I actually saw a post on Facebook where Seven was looking for extras, and I just kind of always had a fascination with like movies, of course, and seeing more trans men and trans masculine folks in movies and things like that. I was like, okay, I could see that. I could see myself doing something like that. Um, I've never been camera shy. I've done podcasts. I've done interviews for the news. I've done all of those things. I'm like, I'm not one of those people that's gonna be camera shy. So I actually reached out to him for a extra role. Like I said, born out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's not a lot of people that are doing films or anything like that within our community. And I was like, I'm gonna go to New York. When he reached out to me, he said, if you're interested, we're shooting this week. Come to New York. It actually was a one sentence line is what I went in there with. I went in there for rehearsal. Um,
Let me tell you something. Say a little bit more. Oh, okay. Is it possible to um postpone it a little bit? Yeah. It's
okay,
okay.
is it better?
Yeah, it seems uh, not the best. Okay.
It's a little bit of static on my end, so let me know if it goes out.
Okay. Okay. Now I can hear you all.
Okay. But yeah, I, he invited me out to New York. I didn't know anybody in New York. Had never been to New York before. Um, Jumped on a plane, flew to New York, went out there for one line, went to rehearsal, and left with a lead actor role. So I was blessed, and everybody was dope. Like people always say, up north people are rude and all of those things, and especially coming from Charlotte,
Right.
just to jump out there and get on the flight and don't know nobody. Went out there by myself. So I was a little nervous, but when I got out there, like the whole cast, everybody that I met was cool. Like there was no type of, you know, there was no type of bad energy at all. Like everybody was automatically like family, and we've been rocking ever since 2022.
I love that so much. What what comparisons or what similarities your character have um, on the show?
You said what character would I compare it to?
No, like you and your character on the show. What similarities do y'all have in real life?
Oh, to be honest, pretty much everything. Like the
Okay,
relationship that Pernell has with his mom is identical to mine. That's like my best friend. That's my one. Like anybody that know I'm a mama's boy to the heart, and that's one person I don't play about at all is my mom.
period.
So from that to just how big he is with his friends, protection of his family, protective of his community, and having a person that he loves and cherishes, all of those things. I'll be getting engaged soon, so when that actually
Congratulations.
it haven't happened yet, but I definitely when it happens, it's coming soon. But just the similarity of having somebody that really love and support you for you, regardless of what the world or what anybody says, that all of that hit home for me, and just pretty much everything that Pernell represents in the film is who I am as a person. So it was just ironic that that's the character that he gave to me, and I'm like, this was like me living everyday life. So it really wasn't even like acting. This is just like having a camera and doing what I would normally do in my everyday life.
I love that so much. It's so important to like embody a hold on. This gonna kill me. Okay. Can you hear me? No. Okay. Normally this don't happen, but we're gonna make it do what it do, and I'm gonna edit the hell out of this. So continue. You're getting engaged. You're claiming it. It's happening. What have love meant for you at this stage in your life currently?
And the easiest way I can describe it is like I tell my lady all the time, it's all about timing. Like I said, and dating women since
Mhm.
I'm 15, 16. Um, I've lived, I've had all the experiences anybody can have, but to find, I think, like when we talk about our relationship, it's like, okay, we knew we had to go through the relationships that we were in order to become the people that we are now. Had we got together earlier, neither one of us would have been ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we had to go through different relationships, not all bad. I'm not saying that all the relationships were horrible, they were bad people or anything. They weren't. They
Yeah,
served their purpose.
I think that's so important to the evolution of getting to the healed part of love, right? Like, there are certain things that you have to learn to navigate through to be able to value love while valuing yourself.
And all relationships teach you something.
Mhm.
Lesson out of it, regardless if it's good, bad, or whatever. And it's something that you take and it allows you to grow. So to be at this stage and find that person and the way everything has happened, even with my family, with her family, it was just all about timing. And God couldn't have put it better, couldn't have put it together at a perfect time than He did right now.
Yeah, that's how I felt with my husband. Like, when I met him, I didn't necessarily know he was my husband. Then throughout the evolution of the relationship, there are certain things that happen that is confirmation that you're with the right person. And for whatever reason, I had circumstances that affected. in any of my previous relationships, I was able to pour back that into myself.
Agreed,
Mhm.
100%. And I'm happy. Like I couldn't ask for a more supportive person. I couldn't. I just honestly couldn't ask for anything else. Like she checks all of the boxes of a person that I've wanted, and somebody that's spiritually connected, not somebody
Mhm.
in denial and you only okay with me through me as long as other people don't know. I didn't want another relationship like that because if I accept you
Yeah.
in out in the open, I want you to accept me out in the open, not just when it's convenient and not just when it's fun. You know what I'm saying? So I had to grow through those relationships to be able to appreciate all of that now. And yeah, she the one.
I love that so much for you. Uh, so what is currently your, zodiac sign?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
What's your zodiac sign?
Cancer. Cancer.
Okay.
Cancer season is on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
And
and
I'm a
Barry. Okay. Okay. So we all in the same season.
mhm,
Summertime.
mhm. It is good to that. What are you looking for mostly at the, festival?
Just being seeing my brothers, man. I'm excited
Mhm.
for the brothers. I'm excited for us to celebrate this journey. It's been long. It's been work. Um, I think we've all been through different things individually in our lives throughout this process. So just to be able to see the fruits of our labor and be able to share this celebration with the community, being able to share just being able to celebrate together, because I think it's been a little over a year since we've all been together, since we were doing our private screenings. So we haven't all been able to be together and celebrate. And it's the fact that we able to come together during the festival right after it's on Tubi. I'm looking forward to the parade. Never been to the New York parade before, so I'm excited about that. Um, just excited to network and celebrate with our people, honestly.
Yeah, same. I'm excited in that way, to be able to just be amongst and spend time and get to know everybody, that was a part of the project, and it'll be good to I never been to New York before, so it's gonna be good to be able to experience it for all that it is. What I love about the Eden Garden is the visibility that it's going to represent, and the raw and realistic aspect that to highlighting the trans masculine community. Yeah.
I think it's time for us to have it's time for us to be able to showcase our visibility. And I think with this film, it showcased so many different storylines. So
Yeah.
it pretty much you can find a piece of somebody's story that resonates with you in some way, shape, or form. Regardless if you're trans or not, there's something that resonates with a piece of your story. If you've been living your truth, there's something in there that you can identify with. And I like that
Yeah,
it
no.
tells so many different variations. It's not as much as we will say it's scripted. There was a lot of lines that Seven let us freestyle with, just based on the moment, just
Mhm,
based on our emotion. So a lot of what you see, some of those things are just things that we had built up, or things that just during the
mhm.
time that we were shooting. So it's real life. You're watching it on TV, but it's a real live series, real life series.
Yeah. Was there ever was there ever a moment I mean, I guess, have you acted before, or was there a moment while you were in the show where you was like, "Okay, I wanna take this on to the next level or do more acting gigs?"
This is my first time. This is my
Okay.
first time. Um, but I automatically said it gave me a whole new respect for people that do this on a regular, the big film.
Yeah.
We don't realize how much work it actually takes to put a small 10-minute scene together, how many times you have to redo it and get different angles and get the sound right if there's something that you have to cut out. so small as a fan in the background that can mess up everything. So the repetition, the reciting lines, the practice, the rehearsal, it just gave me a new level of respect for people that act and the production and the team that it takes to build it because it's work. It's fun, but it is a lot of work.
I get that, Ashay. So, since we've been in this current climate and I've seen the erasures and all the things that you put out, how have you been self-healing and taking care of yourself um, to be able to just get through this?
Um, Pretty much just kind of limiting my social media time, protecting my mental, um, trying not to get overwhelmed with the political climate because it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know,
Yeah,
we make sure we did. The majority of us did what we needed to do, which was go out and vote.
yeah,
It did go in our favor, but you know, if you're a believer and you pray, you know God has got us whether it was going to go her way or His way, and we're gonna be fine as long as we stay together and continue to move forward. The key is in my head. I will be honest. The first couple of days when he just signing off and signing off, I'm like,
yeah.
here we go. But we've been through this before, and
Mhm.
it is just limit what you take in, what you need to take in, let the rest go. Focus on you and your family, your surroundings, your circle. Watch your surroundings and just keep living because the minute we give them power and stop living and stop being ourselves, they win. And we continue to do it, regardless of who's in office. We continue to win. So just
Yeah,
staying positive and keep it moving. It ain't stopping anything. If anything, it made us move harder. And I'm actually glad that the film came out now because I hope a lot of people
yeah,
see the things that people speak about that they have no idea what it's like living in our shoes. I hope this film actually erases some of that ignorance and they really can see, like, hey, the stuff that they're saying, nothing, where is the report that there has been one actual trans person that has gone into a public restroom and done anything to somebody's child? These are things that go
mhm,
ahead to make people fearful of trans people. But there are
yeah,
facts that represent any of that. So films like this and other films that are to come, I hope are going to continue to show people who and what we really are and how we really live. We live regular lives. We're not out harming anybody. If anything, we do more for the community than other people do. We just don't get all of the recognition for it. So I hope this. I'm
yeah,
glad it came out when it did, and I hope it just continues to educate people, and I hope it strengthens families that may be struggling to help their trans kids that are coming up. Because right now they have it the hardest. That's who I sympathize for is our trans youth because we didn't have to deal with all of the stuff that they're doing right now.
and that
So
leads me into my next question. Well, not really question. Here on the Miss Mouthy podcast, we like to keep pearls of wisdom for our young people that be growing up and have to go against different times. What pearls of wisdom would you leave the young people that would be useful during this time?
you said what words of wisdom would I give them?
Yes.
Be you. Be you. You get one life to live. And if you live it for you let somebody else live it for you, we only get one time around this world. We only get one time. Regardless of what anybody says or what anybody feels or what their opinions are, do you. Because if you don't live your truth, nobody will. And you never know who's watching you, who you want to inspire just by being yourself.
Yeah.
Just by us being ourselves, that's how we got in this film. That's how you got your podcast. You're inspiring people that you don't even know. So
Thank you.
we have to continue to do what we're doing, which is being ourselves, so that the next generation has the courage to be themselves and the generation behind that. So my advice to them would be keep your head up. Don't worry about who's against you. Just know that there's, even if it's not your blood family. There are people out there that you can find that will love and respect you and will treat you better than family. Find something to believe in, whether it's God or something else, but you're going to need that through this journey. And just keep moving forward. Don't, if people walk out of your life, then lead them in the rearview mirror and keep moving forward.
Yeah. I would say for the young people, I know it is hard to enjoy a lot of the things that you see on social media, or when you go to school, things that people may say that are mean or vindictive. Yeah, I would say take that energy and pour it into yourself to know that at the end of all of it, you know yourself better than anybody else. You know, right? Like you have the last word of becoming whoever you want to be and creating the life that you see fit for yourself. So in those moments, it might seem embarrassing, but push through the grain because life will get a whole lot better. And those people who are projecting, because that's exactly what they're doing, haven't found the strength or the charisma that you have to be your authentic self. So be brave and be proud and who you become because you commanded somebody attention. And with that being said, they're watching. So give them here.
And God put
Okay.
you here for a reason. To be you, not to be anybody else. We were all the same the way we were born. So we
No, for real.
just be you. And whatever that looks like, nobody's transition is going to be the same. So don't try to mimic anybody else's. Everybody's story is supposed to be different. And just live your truth and live your life to the best of your abilities. That's it.
All right. Let the people know how they can keep up with you and all those things. If you want to be kept up with, where they can find you.
Absolutely. So, real_Lowery on Instagram. It's RELL_LOWERY, like Mike Lowry. That's the easiest way. Same thing on Facebook is Rell Lowery. I took down my TikTok because, so yeah, it's just Instagram and Facebook. You can find me Rell Lowery, both pages public. Um, you can also find me on CharlotteBlackPride.org as a transgender liaison. So any support that I can offer you within our community, Charlotte and surroundings, reach out. And I'm also a member of Alpha Omega Kappa Fraternity Incorporated, which is a trans masculine national organization. You can find me on there as well. We're always recruiting, so looking to make an impact in the community. That's where you can find me.
Love that so much. We're gonna have to run this back or something once we figure out the whole sound and all the things and give you your whole detail. But know that you are always welcome here on the Miss Mouthy podcast. I think you are exceptional. I can feel your energy through this energy that you're a very grounded, laid back individual that's very assured of yourself. And so keep doing that great work in the community. Keep showing up and keep doing you. Um, because it's just an honor to be able to be in dialogue with a person like yourself. So I'm just thankful and I can't wait to be in community with you. And
Yes, I appreciate it. If you want to run it back, but all three of us do one before we go to New York, I'm down.
okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that because you gotta get your dust on all of this. And so it's your girl, Miss Mouthy. Even when you don't see me, you hear me. Till next time. Bye.